Hello, 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 my shady little spuds. Welcome back to the Couch Potato Queens, the podcast where we roast reality TV harder than these queens tried to roast each other. I'm your host, Mackenzie, the reigning diva of couch critiques, here to spill the tea, sip the drama, and serve the unfiltered truth because, let's be real, if you're listening to this, you probably have just as many opinions as we do. And unlike some of those queens, we actually know how to land a punchline. And baby, tonight's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race was a messy buffet of shade, sabotage, and absolute comedic homicide. It was the villain's roast, and let's be honest, some of these performances were more like the villain's funeral. We had joke stealing, queens crumbling, and a lip sync with more tension than Michelle Visage watching a queen walk out in a flat wig. It was chaos, and we loved every second of it. And I can't roast this episode alone, darling. Oh, no. I need someone just as shady and just as cunty as I am. And that's why joining me is the one and only, the queen of filth, Dakota.
I mean, I'm not filthy. I'm like a vodka on the rocks with just a touch of dirt. Just a splash, like a smidge of olive juice.
Okay, girl.
You said the ongoing theme this season is delusion, so I'm just playing that up for you.
Yeah, girl. Hold on just one second. It wouldn't be a Couch Potato Queens episode if we didn't have an issue. So,
I think I was running behind today too with daylight savings time and us bringing forward an hour yesterday, and I hadn't set other than like my electronics, like my Alexa. My phone, like everything like that had updated, but like my stove, my microwave, like all the other little clocks in my house had not updated. So I thought I had an hour longer than I did. So I was running a little bit behind today. We were still started on time, but I was running a little bit behind. Hence why my hair is still damp, because I took a shower a little bit ago and my hair, I did not have time to do my hair before the podcast started. So this is Dakota, all natural, fresh out of the shower, like wet hair, no hairspray, no tease, nothing. This is just as natural as y'all will ever see me, probably.
All right. Well, for some reason, it will not go live on Twitter. So I just made a post on Twitter. Hold on. Let me now share our thing on Facebook. Join us live. So, how did everybody enjoy this week's episode? Hello. Welcome. This was an interesting episode. We had a little bit of everything. I think the Drag Race producers are probably sitting there rubbing their hands together like villains and like, because this episode definitely gave a lot.
Yeah, this episode was really, really another one that I like is the roast. I don't think they do the roast every season anymore, but I do look forward to the roast. I forgot all about it. I always say Snatch Game for the main challenge and the reading challenge for the mini challenge are like my two favorite. I forget about the roast. The roast is another one of my favorites. I was not pleasantly surprised. I was gobsmacked surprised by who was in the top. Not so much who's in the bottom. It wasn't like I was shocked, but like I could also see it. But the two that were in the top that I literally thought was going to be in the bottom. I said it last week. Oh, I think that these two people are going to be in the bottom, and they ended up being the top two of the week. So very, very shocked. I was flabbergasted, to say the least. But I'm glad that the girls are saying, oh, it's too late in the game to get a win. Obviously not, because there was only two girls left out of the cast that had not gotten a main challenge win, and one of them got it.
Yep.
And we're super proud of her.
Yep. Yep, girl. Ooh, 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 ooh. There we go. So let's get started. The queens entered the workroom and they are saying that it is feeling like an episode of Romeo and Juliet. Corey King has left a message on the mirror saying, "Good night, kingdom," with a kiss. Lydia Butthole Collins says it's missing something, and she adds one of her kisses to Corey's.
She should have literally. I was thinking it when it happened. I thought with how crazy Lydia is, I thought she was literally going to rip her dress up, jump on the counter, and put her ass cheeks up to the lipstick mark. That's just what I was like thinking was going to happen. But she went with subtle. That's okay.
Girl. I mean, that would have been hilarious if she had done that, honestly. Then, she does say that she is happy to still be in the competition. And she said that she is sad that Corey is no longer there. Do you think maybe she will be able to step her pussy up now that she's not focused on getting her butthole stretched out?
I think so. I don't want to say that she's kind of been in living in someone's shadow, but I feel like whenever there's something like a relationship or a friendship or a group of girls, like we've seen it in the past with Alaska Talks, and we've seen like past relationships on the show, we've seen past friendships on the show, and in the end it kind of hinders them a bit, or at least it hinders one of the people. So we saw that with Alyssa and Coco Montrese, and they were both, left mid-season. And then we have Relaska Talks, and I mean, I guess they all did pretty well. They made it to like the top 5, I believe. So I guess they did pretty well. And then we've seen it with countless other relationships. They're in a relationship or they have a past and they end up going home because they're almost like it overshadows like their whole performance on their season. So I'm kind of glad that one of them was able to go home. That way one of them is able to shine, because I feel like they've been trying to shine, or at least Lydia has been, but I feel like this has just been the subject of conversation every single episode. So
yeah. They congratulate Jules on her win, and then they ask Lexi if she is okay. And Lexi says that she's apologizing, but it's just, her inner saboteur. And then Susie tells Lydia that she doesn't think her look was a bottom look. And she agrees and says she thought others deserved to be in the bottom. Sam Starr says, "Like who?" And she's like, "You." And Sam's like, "Are you delusional?" They discuss the standings, and they come to the conclusion that there are 3 girls with with 2 girls. There are 3 girls with 2 wins: Sam, Anya, and Susie. And there are 3 girls with 1 win: Ariette, Lexi, and Jules. And then Lingerie and Lydia Butthole Collins are having a good time with 0 wins. And Lana takes a little bit of a offense to this, and she says she is tired of people comparing wins because she's been a sister up to this point, but don't make her be a brother, because you can. I thought that was hilarious when she did that.
They're all funny when they're backstage being sisters and like going after each other.
Do you think there's anything to that? Should they be comparing wins, or should they not be comparing wins?
It comes into play a little bit, like how many winners have we had in the past that have not had at least 1 main challenge win? And rule of thumb, the more main challenge wins you have and the less that you've been in the bottom, the better chances you have of getting in the top. That doesn't mean you're going to win, but the better. But we've seen girls that have had main challenge wins and have been in the bottom multiple times that have won the crown. So look at Jinx Monsoon. She won many, she lost many.
Yep. excuse me. Queens enter the workroom the next day, and Lydia says it's a new week and there's no Corey to distract her. And before the queens can even get around the table and start talking, in enters Michelle Visage. And then Michelle says, how's everyone doing? And says, aren't you going to ask me how I'm doing? I'm like, that's shady fucking bitch. So they ask her how she's doing. And she's like, well, to be honest, I'm sad. She's like, but I think I know why I'm sad. I'm missing a major player who left way too early this season. And the queens are like, oh, fuck me in the ass. And then Michelle says that for the first time in Drag Race history, that they're bringing back the badunk-dunk tank. So take off anything you don't want to get wet and meet me on the main stage in 5 minutes. So did you think it was going to be the badunk-dunk tank, or did you think they was fixing to bring Crystal in?
No, I did not think it was going to be the badunk-dunk tank. I literally thought that they were going to bring back a girl. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be Lucky Stars.
Girl, it's been too far in the competition for it to be Lucky Stars. That Crystal Envy or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, nobody went home for 3 episodes because we had the first episode, then we had 2 people that were saved by the levers. So, I mean, technically we have 3 episodes where nobody went home. So, like, this season seems like it's kind of dragging on a bit.
You ain't lying. Well, not as long as All Stars dragged last year when nobody went home on All Stars last year.
I thought it was good for the all winners season because I feel like those girls, they're winners. They should be able to showcase their drag.
No, they weren't winners. This was that you're thinking about All Stars.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it should have stuck with. I think it should have stuck with all winners.
Yeah.
Let me get there. Let me get there, girl. Let me get there.
Sorry. Don't beat me, mommy. So on the main stage, Michelle is joined by EW senior writer Joey Nolfi. And for today's mini challenge, the girls are going to sit on the badunk-dunk tank, and Joy and Michelle ask a series of questions. And if they answer correctly, they stay dry. If not, they get dunked. Lydia Butthole Collins, what is your favorite color? Lydia says blue. Michelle says wrong, it's red. Bonk.
Yeah, after the first one, I was like, yeah, no matter what they say, there's no right answer. They're all getting dunked in this tank.
Mm-hmm. Jules Sparkles, what is your favorite body part? Jules says penis. Wrong, it's your uvula.
Oh, Lord.
Lexi Love, who's your favorite judge? And she says Michelle Visage. And Joey Nolfi says brown noser. Blank. And then there goes Lexi Love.
What do you do to get these clips, these snippets and screenshots?
I hit pause and I try to get something that at least has their face a little bit clear. But yeah, and I'm just like, and to be honest, because we have Apple computers, we can't screenshot something. So through YouTube TV, you can't screenshot it. I have to wait till the pit stop airs and it's on a YouTube channel to try to watch it on there and get a little snippet there. Yep. That's my secret. Then we have...
Looks like she's praising Jesus in church.
And it keeps going. And going. And we think we're done. But no, where's Joey? And then this one's for Mona Lisa. And then we get a Joey. Girl, those queens look pissy.
Well, Jules was bitching. Jules is like, do you know how long it takes me to get my hair to look like this? This takes time. This takes effort. And I'm going to get in a dunk tank? Are you serious?
She is so funny. So then we find out for this week's Maxi Challenge, the love language of... for this week's Maxi Challenge, the love language of drag is shade. and they're throwing the first ever Villains Roast. They will pay comedy tribute to 3 of the shadiest queens in Drag Race herstory: Mistress Isabelle Brooks, Kandy Muse, and Plain Jane. And they're going to workshop with Michelle and this week's special guest judge, Whitney Cummings. Jill Sparkles, you won last week, so you get to assign the order. Now, I don't know about you, girl, but when Michelle says this, I think, well, that's going to be boring 5 minutes of TV. You know, all these girls are going to fight about what order they get, and then they're going to get it, and we'll be moving on. Just like every single other episode of Drag Race.
You can't please everybody, and when we're getting close to the end, which we're still technically kind of in the middle, but we're getting closer to the end, and competition is so high, and the girls are starting to get more cutthroat. Like, there's no pleasing every single person. If you want to have friendships outside the show, because girls like to hold grudges, give the best positions to your friends, and then the girls that you don't like, give them what's left over. Or I don't know if I would do it, trip up some of the stronger girls that aren't comedy girls and throw them in a position where they're going to look bad. There's been a couple of times that's happened. I personally wouldn't do it. I don't think Jules had an ulterior motive. I don't really feel like the 2 girls that were mad this time, if she would have changed it up at all, there would have been 2 other girls that were mad with their positions too. So there's really no winning.
Well, so they'll get back to the workroom, and the girls, you know, aren't chit-chatting back and forth about what they want. I think Sam said she wants to go. She does not want to go after Lexi, Anya, or Susie, but she will for sure go after Lydia, Lana, or Arietti. Then we have Lexi, who said she wants to go last. We have Anya, who I think said, I want to go somewhere in the middle. We have Susie, who said she wanted to go last. And so she writes everybody's things down. She goes off to the side. She works a little thing up, come back, said, opening is going to be Anya, followed by Arietti, followed by Jill Sparkles, followed by Lana, followed by Sam, followed by Lydia, followed by Susie, followed by Lexi. Did you think, not getting into any of the drama, did you think that was a fair lineup?
I think so. Like, I wasn't expecting the strong girls to want those positions. So like Anya wanted to open, which is fine. Like, she's been doing really well this whole season. She's aced the acting challenges, the comedy challenges, the musical challenge. She's been doing really good. So really any position she had, but I think it was good putting the strong girls in the harder positions. I think that was fair. Like, I feel like Anya was in a good position. I think Lexi said she wanted to be last. And of course, Jules wanted to be in the middle because she wasn't super comfortable. So, I mean, I feel like it was fair. I mean, I feel like she picked really, really good.
Yeah. I agree. I felt that it was, as fair as you could get. However, Lexi gets immediately pissed and said, oh, so you're trying to set me up for failure by putting me after Susie. Well, you asked to go last, And to be fair, you didn't say anything about who you didn't want to go before you. Then Jewel Arietta gets pissy and was like, oh, okay, so, you're putting me after somebody strong and then you're putting yourself after me, so you're just setting me up for failure. Bitch. I mean, my opinion is you're going to either be good or not good. Your placement does not mean jack shit here. You're either going to have good jokes that are going to land and the judges are going to laugh, or you're going to blow it. And a lot of these girls are allowing themselves to get too pissy on little details that don't matter, and it's allowing it to affect the competition and affect them in the competition.
Yep. I understand, like, Lexi's an overthinker. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. She's already won 2 challenges, but she feels like, the competition's getting harder and harder. Her inner saboteur is starting to take over a lot more. So I get it. Like, I get it. You know, she feels like she's the oldest in the competition. You know, she feels some type of way about the competition in general. So I understand where she's coming from, but you can't. That would literally look like she was playing Jules was playing favorites.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, she wanted to go last. She got that position. It really doesn't matter who you put in front of you as long as you do well. Like, you're gonna have the same, like what they said, you're gonna have the same material no matter what. I mean,
yeah, I agree. So the girls enter the workshop with Michelle and Whitney Cummings. Whitney was looking fucking fabulous.
Don't recognize her. Her here, because she typically doesn't wear like a ton of makeup. Whenever she has an event or something, she will wear makeup. So here she looks like herself. She did not look like Whitney Cummings on the main stage. On the judging panel, she did not look like Whitney Cummings. Like, she looked like she had a brand new face on. Like, I don't know who did her makeup for that, but she looked like a completely different person to me on the main stage.
Really?
Yes. Like, look. Well, if I have to find a picture later on of her sitting at the on the judging panel, what she looked like compared to what she normally looks like, she looks completely different to me.
Okay. So they're sitting there and they, you know, start going around the table. Immediately, Butthole starts yawning, and she makes a comment and be like, sorry if we're, boring you, They go around the table and have each of the queens read a little something, and they give critiques. Anya immediately was funny. Surprisingly, Lana was funny from the get-go. Sam had a funny one about, I don't remember exactly what it was, but something to T.S. Madison, where she's like, you've had more old white cock up in you than cryptocurrency or something like that. That was pretty funny. Susie, tries to set herself up and say, well, I'm a very, I really think, and I put a lot of thought into my jokes and, blah, 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 blah. Trying to set herself up to where there's not as high of an expectation for her to do well. And Miss Anya Nerve immediately calls that bitch out and like, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no, no, She tried to start some shit. She good. Don't let her tell you that she ain't good. I fucking love this. Shady ass bitch.
And they're like close friends. So like, they're just like being shady to each other and like they're laughing about it off screen. But even I feel like the girls that are being the most catty are like the friends. Like the more towards the end, like the beginning, it was more like the girls that weren't close to each other, that were like separate, that weren't really close, were fighting against each other. Now it's like the friendships are starting to have some turmoil and they're starting to come for each other.
Yep. Then we have what I'm going to call the messiest and pettiest and most shocking moment of this season. Ariadne is sitting there with her little bitch ass, and she doesn't do a good joke. And then she's like, dude, comedy isn't my thing. Well, it seems there's a lot of things that aren't your thing. But then she gets the bright idea that she is going to steal, not borrow, not tweak, steal Miss Jewel's jokes. Now, we've seen plenty of shady shit over the years, and I'm usually here for it. But outright joke theft, like, that's something new. Yes, whatever, we had a queen steal somebody else's jokes that was a comedian. That, I think Nikki Glaser's jokes, from the, Tom Brady roast, whatever. That's different. To sit there and look at somebody else's notepad and then steal their jokes off of it, that's just, in my opinion,
it was personal. Like, that's your friend. You're mad at your friend for the placement that she gave you, and it wasn't to throw you off. You're mad that she put you what she put her before
She's going to be mad no matter where she put her.
Wow.
Because let's look at the Anya. She's going after Anya, and then it's Jules. So what? She was supposed to put her after Jules.
Yeah, like she couldn't have put her at the beginning because of Anya. Like Anya, we knew Anya was going to be strong. She couldn't have put her towards the end because we knew Susie and Lexi were going to be there, and we knew Susie was going to be strong. So really, there was no. And then it ended up being that Lana and Lydia ended up surprising us and being super strong. So really, there was no safe spot in the lineup whatsoever.
Well, and that right there, that's the problem. She wanted it to be a safe spot, and I'm sorry, you are in episode 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race. There's no safe fucking spots anymore. You're either in it or not in it. You know,
I think usually towards the end of the competition, there's less girls. It's a lot harder just to be safe. You either you're in the top or the bottom. I think she was so used to being in the top or at the top end of safe that she's like I said, the past episodes, their energy's starting to wear down. Like, you know, their bag of tricks is starting to run out. I think that she's getting to the end of her, she's getting to the bottom of her hat of what she can pull out. So she's like, okay, well, maybe I should have just played it safe and then came out strong towards the end instead of being strong all season. You know, now I don't really.
What Jules did is a classic strategic move. She arranged things to be in her advantage. That's the reason that she was given the advantage. But I don't feel like she just outright fucked anybody over by doing what she did.
No,
I feel like she was as fair as she could have been. And like you just said, let's say Jules had gone right after Anya, and then she had switched it to where it was Arietti. Okay, so then you're saying, then it could have been taken, oh, so you think you're better than me. You think your jokes are better than me. I'm going to have to go after you. She is going to be pissed no matter what spot she was put into. And she's like, you know, already setting herself up for failure. And Whitney Cummings called her out for that. And she said, when we were at the round tables, you said you weren't going to be good at this. So you set yourself up to not be good at this.
Yep.
You know, you go into it defeated, you're going to be defeated.
You can't put negative energy into something and expect a positive outcome. And she literally set herself up to fail. She literally said, I'm not good at this. I'm not funny. There's been plenty of girls that have been doing bad the whole season that aren't confident girls, that were fashion girls just like her, that said, oh, well, I'm not good at this. And then it just took them to put all of their energy and drive, and they ended up being either in the top or like they ended up being safe because they ended up doing well. So,
I mean, so, you know, she makes the decision to take things nuclear, and it kind of works because Jules does get completely thrown off. We'll talk about that more later, and bombed harder than expected, leading to a tragic meltdown. But I want to be clear about something. Jules' set was doomed from the beginning, regardless. She had, even without the joke theft, she was relying way too much on old, tired, fat jokes. So at some point, you have to dig deeper than playground insults. You know, on the other hand, Arietti's roast was so bad that it was not even fun to watch. There was no redeeming messiness, no endearing flop, just full-blown nuclear disaster.
I don't even think if Jules had Arietti not thrown her off by stealing 2 of her jokes, which I feel like was really personal. That's your friend. You're pissed at her, but you stole 2 of her jokes without telling her to throw her off. And you knew it would throw her off because the face that she made when she said the jokes on stage. So I don't feel like Jules and Arietti were in the bottom, and I don't really feel like there was anybody else that did absolutely horrible that could have taken the place in the bottom. So like, even if she wasn't thrown off by Arietti, her jokes might have been a little bit funnier because she wasn't thrown off, but like her jokes were her jokes. I mean, yeah, she flubbed the delivery a little bit, but like it wasn't going to make them that much funnier. So
it's competition, and you know me, she is so fucking lucky. If I had been Jewel Sparkles when I was getting my critiques, I would have sat there and say, "You're right. I apologize. I flopped harder than I thought I would, but it really fucked with my head knowing that someone I considered a sister had stolen my jokes and used them right before me. And I was trying to like, it threw me off. And I know it shouldn't have done that. I know I should have just moved on. But I would have thrown that bitch so far under the bus that Rosa Parks would have seen her getting run over from the front of the bus.
I wonder if they said it and they just didn't bring it up, like they edited it out. I wonder if it was mentioned.
Oh no, it didn't get said. It was said. They brought that up on Roscoe's. It did not get brought up on stage.
That's a.
I would have been that bitch.
Jules is a good friend.
Yes,
for not bringing that up.
Yes. So yeah. But like I said, regardless, if she didn't have to steal. But she didn't have to steal. She didn't have to try to fuck somebody over in the meantime.
It wasn't even
her current,
It wasn't even strong jokes. Like the jokes that she stole didn't even really get laughs. It was a personal jab against her. Like she wanted her, like she's like, I know I'm not going to do well. I'm going to steal your jokes and throw you off, and so you'll fuck up right after me.
Yep. So then we go from that and we continue on to the workroom. The next day they're getting ready, and Miss Arietti is still pressed. And so she starts, instead of unpacking her makeup to put on her face, she starts packing her. Siri, shut up. Siri, stop. I don't know why the fuck she come on and started talking.
Oh, that's her ghost. That's Sally. That's her ghost.
So, hi, Mary. Mary said, whoever is picking the songs need to be fired. I agree. We'll get there in a minute, Mary. Welcome back. We love having you here. But girl,
we're already 30 minutes into the podcast, and like Mary's the first person that we have in the live comments to comment. Like, hey, Mary, thank you.
Well, and also our Twitter is not working. For some reason, it won't connect live. We've paid our premium, but it won't connect. So I don't know what's going on with that. So anyway, yeah, so Miss Arietti starts packing up her station, and Jules is like, are you moving stations? Crickets. And here's how petty Arietti is. See, bitch, you need to learn, how to be a cunt. If Miss Mackenzie had packed up my station and moved, I would have moved all the way over. You can ask Dakota. I would have moved all the way over to the other side. The other side of the room. If my workstation was close to yours, I would have then packed up my entire rack, everything, and moved that to I would have been capital Petty. You just doing this passive-aggressive bullshit, and she moved one station away, one person away. Fuck you, bitch. Yeah. You just trying to get some TV time. We're good, Mary. We're good. She said Elon is pissing it's everyone's Twitter. Yeah, he is pissing everyone's Twitter. I can't stand that. I can't say it because I'll get banned from YouTube. But yeah.
Do you think is there something going on Twitter? Is that why there's like some technical?
Probably he's got his business and everybody else's personal information with this dog shit. He needs to worry about fucking Twitter or SpaceX and have that quit blowing up over our heads while he's trying to launch shit from Florida. Anyway, yeah. So then we go from the Jules and Arietti drama to we kick it up a notch and we get Miss Lexi Love. And Anya looks over and Anya Nerve is so proud of Jules Sparkles. And she looks over at Jules, she's like, oh, you one of us now. You got these bitches wrecked, honey.
Anya, that is one thing. Since Anya has been either safe or in the top every week, she has been stirring the pot. Like, I wasn't sure if I really liked Anya.
In a good way.
Yes. I'm like, the last couple of episodes, I've been like falling in love with Anya, like starting to see like her person, because she was kind of like, not a wallflower, but really didn't talk too much unless she was defending herself. But like her, like sticking up for her friends and like calling people out and like stirring the pot I'm here for it. Like, did not realize that the pot stir this season was going to be Anya.
Yep. Yeah, Lexi's, season-long arc of self-destruction continued in a way that was almost painful to watch in this episode. She secured the closing spot that she asked for, yet she spirals after Susie is performing right before her. Lexi girl, you chose this spot. You asked for this spot. You were given what you wanted. You were set up for success. You're going to either be good or bad. It doesn't matter who's before you. It doesn't matter who's after you. You actually have a harder spot because you are in the end, which you asked for.
What she should have done is like, I want to be like second to last. Like that way, like if you do well, that's good. Then that just makes it harder on the person that closes it. If you do okay, it's not as big of a deal because the person that closes it. So, I mean, really, she should have asked for like the second to last spot. I don't think it would have been that bad. It wouldn't have been like a target on her. Let's see on the other.
Mary says Lexi, on the other hand, and her inner saboteur has cost her the crown. It's over. I cannot see RuPaul crowning her. I agree to disagree, Mary, and here's why. They love a redemption story. So if from this point forward, Lexi can pick herself up and start winning challenges and start like getting out of her own head and blossoming, I could see them crowning her, if she makes it to the finale and, does a good job. But she's going to have to get on an upward trajectory and she's going to have to get out of her own head. And
they've been giving critiques to like the girls, and like you can tell the girls that are probably going to be in the top because they've been taking the critiques. Like they said it was Sam. They gave her that one critique. We want to see more you. We don't want this pageantry, poise, runway, perfect answer. Like we want to like some nitty gritty. We want to see you. And the next challenge, like on the main stage, like she's been given, like whenever they're asking her questions on stage, like she's being funny, she's being cutesy. She's probably going to be in the top. Lexi's been doing really well. But I've noticed the last couple episodes, she's really, really gotten into her head. And I feel for her because I'm an overthinker anyway. Just someone
I was going to say, you and I can feel for her, especially because she did talk about how with her being on hormones and she's been going through like a very crying, and I'm going to tell you, like, when you're trans and you go from living your life as male, and Lexi lived her life as male or gay male for a long time, so she's a lot like me. When you are able as a male to take all of those emotions, you don't have to deal with them. As a male, you can put those emotions, as I call it, in cubbies. Like picture a post office with cubbies all over the wall. You can kind of put those emotions that I'm going to file this away here. I'm going to put this here. I don't want to deal with this here. When you're on hormones, and especially, and I think she had just started hormones before she went on Drag Race, you have to deal with those emotions right then, right there. You can no longer take those emotions and put them in a cubby hole because they're going to fall out and be a big mess right in front of you, and you still have to deal with it. And I feel like that is Lexi's downfall right now, is those hormones are really getting to her and that inner saboteur is getting to her. So I fucking feel for her because I know what she's going through, and it is a fucking
I think it's a lot of things. I think it's like, you're on a TV show and everyone has said on the show, like, it is harder. Imagine how hard you think it is, but it's actually like 10 times harder than what you think it is to be on this show. And she's the only trans woman on the cast. And of course, and she's on hormones, and she is a front runner. That's even more stress. Everyone knows that she's a front runner. She's been doing really well. And I just think, like, they call it inner saboteur, but like, she's just, I struggle with it too. Like my OCD, I think it plays into me being like overthinking, like me being ADD and like just being all over the place with my emotions and stuff. So like, I feel, because I I can't say that probably would not be me at some point in the competition if I was on a show like this.
Well, that's why I almost wish that like someone like Hormona Lisa, who's been on hormones a little bit longer, was kind of still there. So maybe she could have helped her get out of her head a little bit. But like I do completely, Mary, see where you're coming from with that, because she has been the last, like she was spiraling last episode for the Betsy Johnson challenge, and Sam had to go over there and kind of help pull her out of her head. So, you know, I felt like she does towards the end of this episode. She finally gets out of her own head because Anya calls her out and she's like, I fucking hate you, bitch. And Anya's like, good, I hate you too, but you still wrong.
Yeah, when she sat down and she's like, can I talk to you? And Lexi's like, no, I don't even want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you. I was like, oh my God, it's going to get heated. And then she's like, then why are you smiling at me, Lexi, if you don't want to talk to me? Like, she's like, bitch, I love you. And I'm like, oh, I like how.
And I like how she said, if you can't tell someone that you hate them, but also love them at the same time, then that's not someone who's real family, you know.
I'm liking that the mothers of this season are like,
well, now remember they said you're mom and I'm dad. We're not supposed to argue in front of the children. Yep.
I love that. I'm actually Anya. I think it was because I didn't really see her personality at first. Like I couldn't really get a grasp of who she was. That's why it wasn't that I didn't like her. It's just she wasn't in like my top. But she's been doing so well, and like I'm starting to see her personality come out more, and they're starting to show her more, and like just seeing how she is with the girls. Like I'm starting to really, really like Anya Nerve. So
I think it's a lot like people with Sam Starr up to the last episode. We're like, oh, I can't stand Sam. I can't stand Sam. And then Sam had that really touching moment with Lexi where she's like, girl, what's going on? Get out of your head. You're fabulous here. And like helped her work through it. It was kind of the same with Anya, because up until now, we've really not got a lot out of Anya except for Trim Gate and Spray Paint Gate. And so this was a moment to kind of let, you know.
Well, they also get, like, when there's less girls, they're starting to get more airtime because they have to take up the space. Like, you're starting to see them more. Like, before, you know, there's, like, 13 girls in the room, and they're all fighting for airtime and stuff, so you really don't get to see it as much. So, but I understand what Mary was saying, too. Like, oh, well, her throwing temper tantrums and her acting like this is going to cost her the crown. We saw it kind of with Alaska, not on her original season, but on All Stars season 2, how she kind of was like throwing a temper tantrum. Everyone was kind of shocked. Like it was very grating to see that. And they're like, oh, do we want a winner that's going to, if she doesn't get her way, she's going to throw a temper tantrum like this. So like I can kind of see it, but like I don't feel like it's going to cost her the crown. But I definitely do see her being in like the top 3 or 4.
Well, and I do think too that hold on, my point that I was fixing to make just entered my head and then it just went out. But it's about Sam and Anya. Oh, here's the difference. And this is why Anya and Sam are my top 2 at this point. And really Jules, but Jules, okay, well, I'm going to say it, but first of all, Jules is too nice. She's letting people run over her and take advantage of her. This episode is a key example of that. She should have called Arietti shit out. Yes, she was going home anyway, but it should have been called out. There is no excuse for shit like that. But Sam and Anya Nerve, those 2 queens have been in the bottom. They've not been in the bottom 2, but they've been low. They've been low placement. They've gotten bad critiques. And they've had other queens give them negative critiques, and they do not hold on to it, and they do not let it affect them, and they have their eyes on the prize, and they take critiques or feedback constructively. You know what I mean? Whereas like Arietti, for example, or Lexi, or anything, they let it affect them, and especially Arietti, it sends her into a fucking spiral and a meltdown. And you cannot do that you can call Sam Starr polished and too perfect and blah, blah, blah. But Sam Starr, that's part of a pageant. If you want to be a pageant, you have to learn how to take things that you don't agree with. Because there's some pageant judges who are like, I fucking hate that color. I hate how that dress looks on you. You look fat. You are not. like they say some mean shit. You have to be poised and put together and be like, I understand your critiques and I'll work to change it for the next time. And that is something that Sam has. And Anya's got that grit, like street grit, where she's just like, almost like Jinx Monsoon, water off a duck's back.
Yeah. You're starting to see it with Lexi, where how she was messing up in the snatch game. And like whenever she'd get halfway through, just shit. Well, she was kind of doing it with this. She'd say a joke and she was funny. And then she would go to say something else and it wouldn't land or didn't come out how she wanted. And she's like, shit. Like you can just see her like not wanting to give up, but you can kind of see her giving up. So I'm hoping that she has like this epiphany and is able to move past everything because she is such a strong competitor.
Mary said, I can't believe Lex Norland let her daughter walk with that MAGA hat looking busted as fuck. Mary, we gonna get to that in just a minute. I'm gonna save your comment and pull it back up here in a minute when we get to the looks. So we get to the main stage. RuPaul looking fine as fuck in that costume. Like, I love.
Never would have expected to see something like this on RuPaul. Like, she's been giving us like some shorter dresses and some like bodysuit moments, which everyone knows I like her better in a formal gown. That's just me. But I did not expect to see RuPaul in a leotard with like a
no, honey, that was a bra and panty set with a fishnet thing over. I want to know, did she pull it up and then put her sweatpants on and her house shoes underneath the table, or like, you know, because she does that.
I wonder if it's like two pieces so she could pull the leg parts off. You know,
maybe, yeah, because it doesn't look like it has that little black spot around the leg. So maybe it's two pieces. Yeah. So we get to the villains roast. And the queens come out and they welcome out Mistress Isabelle Brooks, Plain Jane, and Kandy Muse. So let's start with Anya Nerve. I would say, in my opinion, she had the best stage presence of the night. But some of her jokes just weren't hitting. It was kind of like, it almost felt like she was just trying to rush through it and power through it and just kind of like get it done and over with. I feel like she felt nervous. Like it was good, but I felt like she was nervous. It didn't have as much Anya's as I like to call it.
The personality was there, and like, you know, she kind of like held out a note, like showing her vocals off a little bit. Her jokes were just kind of like okay, but like again, a lot of stress on someone that opens a roast like that. So I applaud her for that. Yeah, her jokes weren't the funniest of the night, but like she did really well.
And I'll say this, I felt like her asking to go first, we've already seen her do that. She should have asked to have gone in the middle or to the end to really make herself stand out, because she was the host for RuPaul's Drag Race Live. So we've already seen her in an opener role. So she needed to do something that was different and not what we've already seen her do, in my opinion. So Lydia did go later, but I put her here because I wanted to keep everyone else's stuff kind of matched up, you know, with them being there. So for Lydia, I was sitting there expecting her to be horrible. And when she started landing jokes, I was like,
yep. Lydia was in the bottom for me from last week, before, like, when we found out what the challenge is going to be. I was like, oh, yep, Lydia and Lana are going to be in the bottom this week. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And she ended up being like my top. Like, she was like my number one. Like, she was to me the best. It was like joke after joke after joke. Every single joke landed. The delivery. And she said at the table reading, oh, well, you know, my jokes are a bit more dark. They're a bit more demented. You know, I draw from more realistic things.
More of a dry humor. Yeah.
So I kind of thought, I was like, she's kind of talking that up, but she's kind of playing it safe. I was like, I'm almost wondering if she's actually going to deliver. And
I thought she was being honest, though, because of her Snatch Game character, than how she did in the RDR Live. So I'm like, I was fully expecting fucking train wreck.
Yep.
And,
I was gobsmacked. Like, I was not expecting it. And this is like the point in the competition where you need to make things like this happen and you need to surprise us. This is what gets you noticed. This is what pushes you through to the end.
yeah,
This
and
girl,
this starts the rise of the underdogs for her and Lana's story. You know,
mhm.
the two queens who had 0 wins before this episode, the two queens who outperformed almost everyone else in the roast is Lydia and Lana. And Lydia in particular came through with a very sharp, and yes, it was dry, but that dry wit earned her win. And that's what she needed to now be considered a possible winner and front, you know. So
Yep.
bravo. Next we have Miss Arietti.
The dynamic duo.
What'd you think of Arietti?
She looked beautiful, as always.
Except for that white fucking line down the middle of her face, but yeah.
She's beautiful, and when it comes to her comedy, she's beautiful. That's about all I can say. We have our two cholas of the season back to back, performing one right after the other, and it just was not good. Like, when you like when something's so bad, you like grit your teeth and you like cringe and you're like, oh, like it just makes you uncomfortable. Like you just want to change the channel. That's what this made me. Like, whenever a girl bombs this hard, literally.
And Mike Mary said, beautiful gowns. Yes. And they are beautiful, except for that white line.
The Aretha Franklin reference. What do you think about Taylor Swift? Beautiful gowns, gorgeous gowns.
Beautiful, beautiful gowns. You know, Arietti, I'm just going to say it, was a walking disaster. It was so bad that I'm willing to call this the worst roast in Drag Race history. The combination of it being bad and for her being a fucking thief. And I'm sorry. You're going to go down for the rest of drag history, not for your looks, but she's the girl that stole another girl's jokes.
I would say one of the worst when it comes to the drama that led up to the roast and then what happened on the roast. Yes. But I do think that there were a couple of other girls in the past on roast that did really freaking bad. Like Utica on her season did really bad in the roast. Like when she tried to come for one of the guest judges, I think it was Lonnie, and no one was laughing, and then Lonnie started laughing at her, and she's like, the joke is you're
crossed it from being bad to mean. Like her jokes were kind of mean and kind of just like off put and kind of just stupid. Yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. But I'm sorry. I'm gonna call it that it's the worst because she just not only was she bad, but she was bad at what she stole from other people. It was and yes, she's beautiful. We will all agree she's beautiful, and we will all agree she has turned the looks this season. Honestly, I feel like she's going to have a better job at going from this season and doing what Utica did and becoming a seamstress and like a designer.
You can tell from like what you pack in that she's still a little unsure because she's like, oh, well, you're going to go on to do amazing things. Like, what is it that you want to do now? And she's like, I just want to do everything. And I just feel like she's 27. She's still young.
Is she 27?
Yeah, she's 27. She's been doing drag since she was 22. So 5 years she's been doing drag. And she literally, after she graduated, I think college, when she was 21, she moved to Seattle because she knew that her drag would be accepted a bit more there. Even though she is a fashion queen, I guess like just with her makeup and her style and everything. But yeah, so she's...
Mary, you are so fucking shady and I fucking love it. That's why you belong at this channel. I agree. She gave us nothing. Yes. I thought she was 21 too. She's not. She is 28. Well, she's 28 now. That she was 27 during filming of this. I feel like she has a better opportunity at designing like Utica did. And you have to bring more than just being pretty and having fashionable looks. You have to bring the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. You can't just bring looks. You have to have all of it. And that's what they're forgetting. And then she's like, getting mad because she's not winning comedy or acting challenges when you've already said that that's not your thing, So anyway, Jules, I felt my heart broke for her on stage in that moment because it's like she realized this bitch just stole my jokes. And then you just saw it just fuck with her head. Like, granted, it was going to be bad regardless, but like.
Yeah, I feel like she knew that she wasn't like the strongest when it came to roast, so she was already nervous. But I feel like if Ariety hadn't thrown her off, it would have been a little bit better. But again, everybody was so strong. Like, they were the only ones that really did bad out of everybody. Like, there was no other, even if she did a little bit better and she didn't, mess up on her words a little bit, I mean, they still would have been the bottom too. I mean, everybody else did so good.
And I've been in Jules' spot before where someone who I considered a close friend has fucked me over in real time, and I'm in a public setting, so I really can't react the way that I want to. So, I know how much that's fucked with me, so I probably know how. So my heart went out to her on that. I felt like she pivoted and did the best that she could in the situation, and I will say that she was more of a woman than I was, because I would have gotten kicked out because I would have jumped up out of my seat and whooped a bitch's ass for stealing my shit.
I think she showed her a bit more grace because they are friends, and a competition, especially if you're mad at each other over something like this, it does bring out the worst in people. And I think that she gave her a little bit of grace just because they were friends and they were so close. And I guess she could kind of see like why she was mad. Was it justified? No. But I think Jules is just a really good friend, and she didn't want to sever that relationship by calling her out and doing something something negative on an already super bad negative situation. So, I applaud Jules for that. And, it's reality TV, especially reality competition TV, is not easy. Like, we've seen it and we've heard it time and time again. So
next we have Miss Lingerie, and I'll be honest, it was Lana's turn, and I was like, oh fuck, we're fixed to have another bad one. And then I'm like, jaw drop, she's actually funny. I think the funniest segue was at the end of her little joke thing, and she's like, and next to the stage, we have someone who used to own my ancestors, whose ancestors used to own all of my ancestors. And then Sam Starr picking it up and saying, thank you to my old dear family friend.
the fact that she was able to just like pull that up super quick, because I know that couldn't have been in her set.
Yeah.
So she just like pulled that up really last minute.
Exactly. Like, and that's the difference. Some of these Sam Starr haters out there, she took others set people up with things, and they did not swing at the ball that was thrown at them. So Lana set her up with something, and Sam was able to connect with it. I'm disappointed that because I think they did 5 minutes apiece. Honestly, it pisses me off that there was so much drama in this episode, because if there wasn't that much drama, I feel like we would have gotten longer roast from everybody. But we only got to see 1 or 2 jokes of Sam's, like maybe 2 or 3 of Lana's. I wanted to see more. Like, I could have seen less of. They showed more of Susie's jokes, and she wasn't even in the top or funny.
Yeah.
But because especially the 3 who they had placed as high, which was Lana, Sam, and Lydia. I wish we had seen more of all of their jokes.
I guess I haven't really seen, because I'm not on like Twitter and X. So I guess there's a lot of like drama and stuff that goes on there that I don't see. Huh?
You're not on ecstasy, girl?
No, girl. I'm vanilla. I don't do any of that. I get high on life, not drugs. So I guess I'm seeing a lot of the drama that's going on between the girls, but also with like fans of the show and like liking and disliking certain queens. So I'm not really seeing that dynamic. Like, I know you see that because you're on X. But like really where I'm getting mine is either from like Facebook posts or Instagram or just like comments on like the YouTube videos that Drag Race is posted. So that's really where I get a lot of my information on like what's kind of like how people are feeling, what people are saying. But I don't know. I guess it's because Sam is a pageant girl and she's from the South. Maybe that's a little bit of it. And people just automatically assume the girls from the South that were pageant girls are just all of a sudden mean. But I'm like, we've had a ton of girls from the South that were in pageants that are in the Bible Belt that have done really well, that were, you know, very likable, that did really well in their season. Trinity, which is her drag mom. We've got, oh my God, there's a couple. Eureka O'Hara was a pageant girl from Tennessee.
I mean, Mistress Isabelle Brooks was a pageant girl from Texas.
And she's from Texas? Okay.
But, I mean, you know, I think the thing is, people are mistaking things that are being said. Like, people are like, oh, well, Sam's mean. Sam's a mean girl. No, there's a difference between someone who's a mean girl is someone who will say something and then they'll say it behind that person's back and they won't say it to their face.
And Sam has literally went up to people like, and not went out of her way to hurt their feelings, but she's went out of their way to say like, hey, just letting you know, this is how I feel about it. Like, I guess kind of like giving them the heads up, like, okay, I've said it to your face. So if I say it behind your back, you can't get mad. She's the kind of girl, like, I'm going to be honest. If you ask me, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, but I'm also going to tell you how I feel, especially if you're boasting about something that you did horrible in. But just know, like, I'm also probably going to bring it up behind your back. So you can't really say I'm being fake.
Yeah.
That's real. I don't see any of the other girls doing that.
Mary said when you were talking about Mistress and oh God, what's her name? Trendy the Tuck, the She Devil, the other Satan, and the other evil one, JK. And then also Mary said that they're cutting too much from the season, and I agree. But I mean, there's so much fucking drama that they have to cut something. But yeah, these two saved the roast, in my opinion, being in the middle and where they were, because it was some much needed comic relief. Next we have Miss Susie Toot. Yeah, it was okay. It was.
Yeah, I kind of expected her to do a little bit better. I kind of expected her to be like.
I remember, and you said last week you thought she might win it, and I was like, no, there's no way. She, you know.
I said Anya, definitely Anya and Susie were going to be in the top, and then like Lexi and Jules and Sam were going to be safe. And then I said like the bottom two were going to be Lydia and Lana. We're going to be at the bottom two because we've seen like they haven't really done well in like comedy challenges and acting challenges.
The thing, Susie has done good in things that are scripted. So when she has to act, she is going to be amazing because she's going to be able to memorize her lines and give a character. When it has to be her, it's boring. You know, just my opinion.
It was just like the jokes were funny. The delivery was good. I feel like she could have thrown a couple more jokes in there that were, maybe, but also they cut out so many of their jokes because I think each of them have like a three minute set and you only see like
3 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we didn't even see a minute of each one. We saw literally 2 jokes of Sam's. We saw like 3 of Lana. Like, yeah. And then Lexi, bless her fucking heart. Like,
we saw it just like in the Snatch game where she started to give up and she's like, oh, fuck, shit. And like some of her jokes were funny. Like I think that's why she wasn't, if there was going to be a bottom 3, she definitely would have been in the bottom 3 this week.
Like she was a train wreck. She had the comedic instinct. She just didn't have that focus.
I think what kept her from being in the bottom is because she decided to go last and she was still, even her fucking up, she was still funnier than Jules. And I still feel like even if Jules hadn't have messed up because Arietti throwing her off by stealing her jokes, this still would have been better. And she would have had, she still wouldn't have been in the bottom 2 because she had one of the harder spots of closing the show. So she definitely this week was bottom 3. but I don't feel like she was as weak as Arietti and Jules this week.
I agree. Then we have, oh, this is where, all the girls are laughing and kicking, ha ha, hoo hoo. Here's one of, I fucking loved, out of everyone, Kandy Muse was dressed the best. Like, I love this stuff. You know me, I love a back piece. Like,
extravagance, opulent. It's giving like
rich.
It's giving like Zsa Zsa Gabor meets like a Las Vegas showgirl. Like, I love this.
And this looks very much like, RuPaul Drag Race Live at, the Flamingo. Like, that's giving very much Vegas. Love that look. Then it's the Queen's turns and the Roasties turns. And honestly, I expected a little bit more from them, but it is what it is. I love that, Plain Jane wore the devil costume. And Mistress, bless her heart. We'll just leave it at that. Bless her
I wonder if all these fat jokes caused her to go,
Somebody fucking said that on Twitter. They're like, everyone making fat jokes. The Mistress is like.
And then she like, I don't know. I'm not going to put, I'm not going to put that out there because I'm not sure. I don't know, maybe she's doing it like on her own accord. Maybe it's Ozempic. Maybe she had, a little bit.
They keep making Ozempic jokes on Roscoe's the other night. But Josh has said, because Josh he had the gastric sleeve, and he's like, that's not Ozempic weight loss. That's a sleeve weight loss because he went from what
you can also tell. Like, I don't know what it is. I can tell when someone's lost weight. I can tell. I can.
Jesse said, Mistress keeps saying jokes, caused it, but I think she's joking. Yeah, I think she's just trying to milk.
She's been a big girl. She said she's been a big girl her whole life. Like, it's water off a duck's back for her. Like, she doesn't really let it get to her. She knows that it's one of the easiest things to point out and make fun of. And
that's why the ones that, except for the bless your heart one, I like that one. I think it was Sam that said the bless your heart, diabetes or heart disease.
Yeah, it's like bless your heart disease.
But come on, y'all. As a big girl, when you big, you know you big. Dakota's a former heifer. I mean, she wasn't my size heifer, but she was a heifer.
Believe it or not, y'all, believe it or not, I was skinny up until puberty. Like, I was skinny up until puberty. And then around puberty, when I was like 12, 13, I started getting a little chubby, gaining a little bit of weight. And then, of course,
homes. And then
started, like, of course, wearing makeup and experimenting with clothes when I was like 15 and, being the only person like me in high school, paving the way for everyone in my small hometown of Central Alabama. And after I graduated, I was like, okay, girl, you're confident, you're being yourself, but you're transitioning, and before you start these moans, like, you got to get your body together. So I was 300. I think I was like I was like over 300 pounds. I was like 312 pounds or something was like my biggest, I think. And then I lost I think it was like 4 or 5 months, I lost like 120 pounds. So I got down to like the size that I
did gain a little bit of weight from the moms, but then you went back and you lost back down again.
Yeah. So, I've yo-yoed a good 30, 40 pounds.
My point with that was there's more things you can bring up about someone than bringing up a fat joke. A fat joke means you have nothing else left in your arsenal, in my opinion. We've all heard the fat jokes. The fat jokes have circulated. Like, come up with something else, y'all. Like, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I will say, though, like, fat jokes, even though
some people can't help that they're heavier.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a lot of genetics play a role in it. Like, mine was definitely just because I was, depressed. I was in my feelings and all of that. So, of course, like, I was being myself, but I wasn't being 100% myself. So, of course, I gained weight, but I was overweight and obese, even though I'm really tall. I'm almost 6 foot tall. It didn't look like I was that big, but I will say, if someone made fat jokes about me, even if it was like a friend or something, it probably would have, knowing me, it probably would have hurt my feelings. So,
well, and I don't get is Susie, like, go back to Susie for a minute. Susie had some of the funnier jokes, But like her delivery on it was just so fun. It's like Mistress Isabelle Brooks, the mother of sugar and spice. The only time she's ever cut sugar out of her life. You're from Texas. I thought abortion was illegal in Texas.
See, I thought that was so funny, but it didn't seem like they edited in any laughs for that joke. And
There
I thought,
was no laughs. That was it. There was no like they don't edit in laughs. There were no laughs. And it was her delivery of it that was just really fucking like it was weird. It's like
she was almost like her performance, she was almost like a deer in headlights. Like it's almost like she was trying to give a character that was on something. She was like, and I thought abortion was illegal in Texas.
I really needed her to be safe this round or not safe this round to get critiques so they can be like, here's what you're doing wrong. Because I would have loved to hear what they had to say about it.
I think if she ends up being in the bottom in the next week or the next episode or two, it's gonna light a fire under her ass and give her this realistic it's going to give her a realization that she's not as strong as she thinks she is. She's kind of been coasting.
Yeah.
And everyone is starting to see it. I think it's going to light a fire under her ass and she's going to be like a super strong contender after that. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway.
Category is for runway, who wears short shorts? First up, we have Anya Nerve. It was cute.
I loved it. Like, I know it's really hard to cover up. It's really hard to cover up, a bodysuit. There's only so many layers of, hose you can wear to cover up, a corset and stuff. And you can kind of see it underneath. I think if the stage lighting was a little bit different, you wouldn't have been able to see it as much. But I think it's a cute look. Like I would mop it.
Yeah, I would mop it. I would wear something like this on, something. It's just so many girls did denim and, even some of the eliminated queens. So whenever you get a prompt like this and the first thing comes to your mind is a denim or something, you should probably usually go a different direction with it, like some of the other queens did. So, and again, it was good. It just isn't as polished as what some of the other girls wore. Like all of the things around her legs, none of it was stone. None of it was embellished. No, it was just kind of,
yeah.
And she could have taken and put like stones all the way up her bodysuit, and just really like dragged it up. Her things needs to be polished and she needs like someone to come in and edit it or help polish it and, style it for her a little bit. I think Anya, if she does not win, because at this point, my top two to win are really Anya and Sam. If Anya does not win, I feel like she's in a great position to win an All-Stars.
Yes, I think if once she gets off this season, like if she doesn't win, she's going to have, a little bit more notoriety. She's going to be touring around. She's going to be making more money. She's going to have more money for outfits. She's going to have a little bit more time because she's only been doing drag I think she's been doing drag the shortest amount of time out of everybody. She's one of the older girls, but she's been doing drag the least amount of time.
Yep.
But I feel like she gets like a little bit more money and more notoriety. Her drag's going to be together. Like if she ends up being on All Stars soon, she is going to tear through the competition on All Stars. I'm already telling you, that girl has got personality, charisma. Her looks will be super strong.
Yes.
On All Stars. She's funny. She can host. Snatch game. Like, I mean, this girl, there's not one thing that this girl cannot do well. She's like a jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, the only pussy that I've ever been in my life, the woman who I came out of. Hi, Norma. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with everything you're saying. And, I think she'll be like, oh, fuck. Heidi in Closet. Heidi in Closet was good on her season. And then she came back for All Stars and she was even better. Like, yeah, she didn't last as long, but
yeah, she's gonna be like a Binda La Creme. How Binda La Creme was pretty strong on her season, and then she came back for All Stars. And had she not left, she would have won. I'm sorry, but Binda La Creme, had she not left the competition, she would have won. I feel like she's gonna be basically like a Binda La Creme, master of all trades, I guess you could say.
Anya Nerve was safe, so we got no critiques for her. So moving on, we go to Arietti. This was, I would say I would mop it just because I like the kind of big shoulder pads, the cape thing, especially the crown, all of that stuff. Love that.
Yeah.
I just don't. She's like, this is what an elf would play if we were going to play football. Bitch, not with that shit on top of your head and you can't even move and it's falling off your head and you're not going.
I would mop it. It's, of course, she brings strong looks every single week. Is this her strongest out of all of them? No. But this is definitely a very good look, and I like it overall, and I would mop it.
Out of the critiques that she got, her main critique is that she set herself up for failure by saying in the round table that she was not going to be doing good at this, that she's going to fail. And instead say, okay, I'm going to be good at this. I'm going to really try this and set yourself up for success. And I agree with those critiques. Next up, we have Jules Sparkles. And Michelle Visage tries to be shady and be like, another Marie Antoinette. Okay, it might be more on the Marie Antoinette side, but at least it's not the same Marie Antoinette that we've always seen. I did not get Marie Antoinette from this.
I didn't get Marie. Yeah, the hair, the bows, the extravagant.
I got more like 19 or 1800s saloon girl, like Western saloon girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would mop this. I thought it was cute, fun. Yeah. Oh, and let's give a quick shout out to Chantel Sparkles from her wig. I don't remember the name of her wig company, but that's who did all of Jules's wigs. And for Jules to go out there and bottom, she's in the bottom, but to perform, and you saw it was starting to lift a little bit, but she was throwing that head, and that wig didn't go nowhere. That pom-pom didn't come off, nothing. So that's a good quality wig right there. So you ever looking for a wig, you go look up Chantel Sparkles and wigs by, well, no, I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, go look them up. That's where you need to get your wigs from.
I was wondering because when she walked out on the stage, Michelle kind of made, you know how they pan to the judges' faces and they made like a sound effect. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, is it because she thinks it's Marie Antoinette, or is it because it's like a minty green and she hates the color green? That's what I
think it was more because she made the Marie Antoinette like comment, and she's like something about Marie Antoinette, and so I think that's what they meant for, like, Glitter Bomb Wigs. That's the name of Chantel Sparkles wig company.
And that's her drag sister, or her drag mom.
That's her drag mother. That's Trinity's drag daughter, and that's Sam's drag sister. But she's a former National Entertainer of the Year, and she owns Glitter Bomb Wigs, and she is amazing when it comes to wigs. You see wigs from almost every queen. She's done wigs for almost every queen on this season. So,
I was actually like, when I was looking at her, I know they tried to say it was like a Marie Antoinette. I was actually getting more the host on the Hunger Games. The one that
I can see that too.
I was getting like,
from the waist up.
Yeah, like I was gonna say the gay version. He was gay in the movie, but I was gonna get like the female version of him. That's more. I was getting more Hunger Games people in the Capitol more so than Marie Antoinette for me personally.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to look up and see. Are you talking about Evie Trinket? Like the welcome. That one?
Yeah, the one that hosted like the live show. He was like the host.
Oh, so you're thinking about Caesar Flickerman.
Yeah, the one from The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, him. So you're thinking Caesar Flickerman. Okay.
Yeah, I was getting like him more so than I was getting.
They said yes, she would fit in on the Capitol. Yeah. Yes, this is a very Capitol look. Yeah.
It was basically the Capitol reminded me of like a Marie Antoinette era, but modernized with like outfits like this. Instead of like the big dresses and stuff, it was more like runway.
Yeah.
Marie Antoinette meets runway, like modern runway. That's kind of what the Capitol gave me. And that's what it reminded me of personally.
Yep. For Jules, they said that, sweetness is her superpower, that you did mess up, but you pushed through it. And that was something that they, appreciated. Next up, we have Miss Lingerie.
Oh yeah, and Julie Sparkles. I would mop it. It wasn't my slay of the day, but I would mop it. And this, I love the reference because we love Naomi Campbell, like probably one of the top 5 supermodels to ever walk the runway, and she's still a queen. Like I put her up against all of the new models. I mean, they'd be shaking in their boots if Naomi Campbell is on the runway with them. But it is not runway enough. If she had bedazzled the shorts and the top and added like some type of metallic material for the shawl and then bedazzled the hat, it could have been, she probably might have been close to winning the episode. It's just sometimes things that are on the runway do not read runway of RuPaul's Drag Race. And although she did wear that on the runway, like Michelle said, you could get this in Santee Alley.
Ben said, yeah, that red cap is not a good look during this day and age. My thoughts exactly. And Lingerie, or any other future queen who's going on RuPaul's Drag Race, who thinks they're a model. Bitch, you are a boy. You are a man. Just because Naomi Campbell wore this and slayed, she can do that because she's a supermodel. You are a man in a dress. You are a drag queen. You need to drag it the fuck up. And I don't care if she had rhinestone and bejeweled the fuck out of that red MAGA hat. That's a fucking no in this day and age. Like, no. You have to drag it up. Like, I don't care how good, like you were good in the challenge, but to me, this was a bottom. Like, she should have been the low bottom. Like, she should have been switched with Lexi just off the looks alone. Like, this is a horrible look. She did good in the challenge.
She did better.
Bombed in the challenge, but had a great look. They should have been switched.
It's just
catastrophe.
It's it's a couch.
Those high shorts are in low key. Exactly. And if you have to tell us the reference for us to get the reference, then it's not worth doing the look.
I understand the reference. I've seen it before. It's just, you can take a reference or you can take an inspiration from something and make it drag. And I feel like she took the reference literally and bought the knockoff version of what Naomi was wearing, but she did not drag it up like whatsoever.
Ben said, I don't know. I think you got to give this fit a chance minus the MAG hat. I'm going to say no. And I think she thought it was going to serve the same way that, oh God, what's her fucking name? Colby, Carrie Colby, wore that J-Lo look. I think she thought, oh, this is going to serve the same way that Carrie Colby look served. No girl. And I think Plain Jane said it on Roscoe's the Best. Like, I need some hips, I need some titties for something like this too. Like,
yeah, I'm not a person that I believe you have to have like.
Bob the drag queen is not that skinny.
I'm not someone that believes, granted, I don't do drag. This is just my personal opinion. I don't feel like the girls that are like tall, skinny girls that are more model-esque, I don't feel like they have to have padding and everything. But I was watching Alaska and Willem's podcast, and they have one of former Drag Race queens guest hosting with them, Naomi Smalls, and she said she is a tall, skinny body girl. But even now, she has started wearing a little bit of a hip pad or a corset on certain outfits because it amps the look up that much more.
Yep.
So I could see that. Like, I could see that. But she looks beautiful. Makeup. I love the hair. Yes. Like,
you can't touch her face.
Oh,
like,
no.
To me, like she could have done some, like if this outfit had stones on it, some sparkle to it, even some glitter to it, and instead of doing that fucking hat, she could have done like a knot to the hat and done like a massive, like fat pony coming out of the back. That would have, but it's not elevated. And even RuPaul herself says this is not elevated enough to be on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, like something for like, you know, a drag brunch or like Halloween or something. This would be cute.
Yeah. For the judges to look at you and say, your look is not main stage ready.
Yeah.
How many other queens have we heard them say that to? Like, thinking back the last few seasons.
If we have to have a couch catastrophe this week, like if we absolutely have to have one, it would be this look. But
they didn't even say that to La Ree.
Yeah.
Her bag look.
It is not, I understand, like, it's not really a couch catastrophe in my eyes because it's fitted, it fits her, it's cute, just not for the main stage. It's not dragged up enough for the main stage. I would wear it. But I would just have to say a popcorn pass for me. It's just meh compared to everybody else, especially how far are we in the competition. But it's not horrible. Like, it's not something that, like, oh, I would see it and not want to wear it.
Mary said, I can get this look at Burlington's for less than $100. And you are not wrong. You are not wrong. Let's see. I'm trying to find. Hold on. Oh, and back. I want to bring back that Mary's what she said earlier. I cannot believe Lux let her daughter walk with the MAGA hat looking busted as fuck. Yep. She said that earlier, and I said I'd bring it back up. So I just wanted to bring it back up real quick before we move on. Next we have Miss Sam Starr. This is my slay of the day, honestly. It was the most polished. It was the most. Everything was bejeweled. This is kind of the similar height that I was talking about that Lana needed for her hair, but instead of it being that skinny, it needed to be like bushier.
And everyone coming for Sam saying, "Oh, she wears the same shoulder length pageant, finger wave hair every single episode." Well, she heard that and she brought a Jewel Sparkles high pony to wear with this look. And I love this. Like, and you might not be able to see it in the photo, but on the runway, she bedazzled the shit out of this.
Yep.
This might be
it wasn't big clunky stones. This was teeny, tiny, like stones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
And this might be real sports attire, but baby, she had it sewn and fitted and tied and corseted, and she had it bedazzled and rhinestones.
It was dragged the fuck up.
This is an inspiration look, and this is how you drag it up. This is literally what you do. Like, and I think even the her football purse was bedazzled as well. It's not my slay of the day, but it's really close. It's like my top two. This, I would mop it though.
And the reason that, I like this so much is just because it's something different. We've not seen anyone come out. And it was different from all of the other short looks, Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next we have, you said mop it?
Yes, mop it.
Next we have Lydia Butthole Collins.
It's a look that I would expect from her. I do understand it. She said it's, I guess, supposed to be like you're basically like you were skinned alive.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, all the shit that's around her arm is her skin that she's done pulled off. And the only thing that's left is her bikini area. So that her skin is her shorts, and then there's a bejeweled butthole on the back of it. I'm sorry, it just didn't read shorts to me. It did not feel brief for me.
It was just, it wasn't like horrible because obviously the judges liked it because RuPaul said, oh yeah, a lot of people don't understand your drag, but I get you. I understand your looks. This is literally what I saw in the 80s in New York in East Village with the club kids. I get it. So I'm just going to say it's a meh for me. It's not something that I would personally wear. It's not a horrible look because there is an inspiration and a reference to it. And she explained what it was. It's just meh for me.
This I mean, it's like I've already given a couch catastrophe, and I almost wish we were like Trinity's channel where we had like something worse than that. Like I think their worst is lawnmower pussy. Like this is lawnmower pussy to me because it looks like it just got eaten up by a lawnmower. Like I hate this. And I get her. I get what she's trying to do. RuPaul might have liked it. I did not. You know, and I'm glad that she won over Sam because at least that gives her a leg up and it doesn't make it kind of like a home run for somebody else. But, you know, and like Mary said, we all seen outfits made out of human skin variations. Yeah. And it wasn't a let's see your skin or something like that challenge. It was a shorts challenge. So it just, to me, it did not meet the mark. But who am I? I'm just a bitch in Alabama who can't keep her mouth shut. So, moving right on. Oh, and then for her critiques, they said that she was good, that they loved it, and RuPaul said, you know, this look reminds me of some girls, you know, I think in the West Village, and I see you, you know, and so that was a good moment for her. Next we have Miss Susie meh. Here's the problem with her. Any other season, this would have been like a good, like, you know, this would have been good. But this season, everyone's kind of stepped it up. And I'm just, it's just, like.
She looks like
it's forgettable.
She looks like a porcelain doll in the Victorian era. Like,
well, I mean, it is to a T what the Victoria, well, not Victoria, like the Elizabethan area. Like it is to a T with that because they did do porcelain skin. They did do the exaggerated looks. That was everything was like painted white because Elizabeth I was the Virgin Queen and she used lead paint to paint her face white. So I mean, spot on all that. It's just
it's expected. Like it's kind of like a routine. Like we are expecting it. Like it's not. There's no.
We just did Lydia, and I was thinking Lexi was next. I forgot that Susie was still on the season.
Yeah, it's a meh. Like I would not wear it, but at the same time, it's just I'm not like wowed by it.
If
like
you see my fat ass and my fat short stumpy legs and that, I would look like a fucking. I would look like the Noah's Ark.
If they made like an evening gown version of this, I think it'd be pretty. You could wear it.
Oh yeah, if it was all the way to the floor, not.
Yeah. But it's just meh. It's a meh.
And she was also safe, so we don't know what they had to say about her either. Then we get to Alexa Love.
Slay of the day for me. Although I loved Anya's look and it was very strong, and I did mop her look. Just the overall outfit, and then of course they did kind of. T.S. Madison said, "Lexi, haven't you wore a look similar to this already, where you were like you had a train or you were dragging like some type of cloak behind you?" And Rue's like, "I mean, basically like every single runway so far." But this is
at my sleigh is the leg, like the little straps going up. I wish that had been done in denim instead of it being satin leg straps that she wrapped around her legs as an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
To me, or with even out it doesn't even need those going up because there's so much other stuff going on. And I also wish that she had rhinestoned this, like the between her legs side of what we're seeing, not what drags the floor, but just the side that's visible. Like, I wish that was stone like the back side of it was. But otherwise, this is fucking gorgeous. Like, love it.
I do love this. It's the slay of the day for me.
I do wish, because I'm seeing a continuate, like, she always wears the same type of hair, and I call other queens out for having short or flat hair. I need more hair from a look like this. Like, I need it to be proportioned. Like, I don't need it like a football helmet out here, but I need just like a little bit of height or something.
Like what she wore in the roast, like how big her hair was in the roast.
Yeah, something similar to the, well, hold on, let me see, because what she wore in the roast was not, hold on, I'm trying to see. Yeah, something maybe not quite as big as that, something a little bit more sleek back, but like something with like, yeah. Yeah, Mary said a hair that fits the outfit on that, you know. I agree with, and that would have made it the fucking slay of the day for me. But I appreciate the look because it's not something that we've seen. We've not seen a look similar to this before. And I feel like because of this, we're probably going to have a denim runway or something because of how good this look is. You know, it'll probably inspire a future runway fashion. Oh, and let's see. For Lexi, her critiques were kind of like that inner saboteur, and she kind of talked about it. But I think they kind of were giving her the advice that you really can't listen to that your inner saboteur is lying to you. You know, you are here on RuPaul's Drag Race. You were doing good. And you just have to keep telling yourself, you know, like, you're a liar. And I think RuPaul even said, my inner saboteur tells me that all the time. And I look at it and say, hey, girl.
Yeah, she said it's basically, Ru said, it never goes away. It's always there. It's just whether you let it affect you and you listen to it. Like, mine's there. It's still there. But like I say good morning to her every single morning, but I don't let her affect my decisions in my life anymore.
Yep. And I thought that was really good. And that's why, from like what Mary was saying earlier, I feel like if Lexi can take this advice and just, you know, she's hit rock bottom, so now she can kind of go up. Where like Sam went into the bottom and got told, he was like, you're close to being in trouble if you don't do this. And he took that as permission to do whatever, or she took that as permission to, you know, act a fucking fool and do what I need to, you know, show y'all everything. I think Lexi kind of needed to hear something like this as well, you know. So we'll see how she does moving forward. So after everything is said and done, we find out that Lana Del Rey, Sam Star are both safe, and our winner of the week is Lydia Butthole Collins. Good for Butthole.
I feel like she was, out of all of the girls, maybe her runway wasn't the strongest per se, but she was the strongest in the roast. There was no doubt about it. Joke after joke. I think the fact that we were shocked that she did so well, I think just added to the suspense. But she did so good. I'm glad that she won. I thought it was going to be either her or Lana. And of course, Lana's runway wasn't as strong.
I didn't really think it'd be Lana. I thought it would be her or Sam. And I feel like one of the main reasons, not to take away her win, but they love a good redemption story. And for her to be in the bottom, send her lover home, and then come back to win the next challenge is a very production type thing to do. So I think the fact that she actually did good, I think that's the reason that, you know, she's where she's at. Which is, I mean, it's good and it's smart, and it gives her the trajectory that she needs to kind of go up. But she just has to continue going up. And let's be honest, next week's episode is an acting challenge. And so far, she's not been good in acting challenges. So,
ciao.
We find out that Ariadne and Jewel Sparkles are in the bottom two. And that Lexi is safe from having to lip sync. Do you agree?
Yes. I know I said that earlier in the episode, but even though Lexi kind of got in her head a bit, I feel like her And all the girls' looks this week were like pretty strong, but I just feel like she had more laughs and she was in a harder position being last. So I think they take that into consideration anyway. But yeah, there was no other bottom two except for these two, honestly. And just like last episode, they had the boyfriends, the couple of the season against each other. Now they have the best friends that were going at each other the whole episode going against each other.
Yep.
So,
you know, and hey, that's gonna happen. Like, I mean, Raja and Raven and Jujubee, you know, having to lip sync against each other. You know, Carmen Carrera and Raja had lip sync. Anytime you're close with someone, you're gonna have to lip sync. And especially that there was this much drama over fucking nothing. Let's be clear, it was over fucking nothing. Ariete was always gonna be bad. Jules might not have been as bad if you hadn't fucked her over, but she still wasn't going to do as good. So I mean, you know. Let's see. So the queens lip sync to, I did not write down the lip sync song, but it was Beyonce. Was it Yaya?
yeah, not favorite song. Like Mary said at the beginning of the episode, who the hell is picking these songs?
Whoever is picking the songs needs to be fired.
I mean, I understand not every single song can be a hit song. Like it can be, you know, a song that was popular with the fans or maybe a song that did well, but it just didn't chart or something. But like, what is with these obscure records, especially by like, I don't hate Beyonce, but I'm just like, I'm not a stan of Beyonce like all the rest of the world is. I feel like I liked Beyonce in the early thousands to early 2010s. I don't really like Beyonce now. Or I don't like her music now.
I wish it would have been like a song, like if they're gonna pull something from like Beyonce, I wish it had been like Destiny's Child, Bootylicious. Now my body is bootylicious, darling. You know, something like that. But I mean, have we ever done Crazy in Love? Probably. No, I don't think they have, but I think they try to stay away as much as possible from slower songs, or if they're going to do a slower song, do something that's going to have like a little bit of.
One of my favorite songs by her is School in Life. It's from, oh my God, it was from her album from like 2012-ish. And it wasn't a hit, but it's big in, actually listened to it in a drag club years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like, what album is this from? I'm like, actually, it's called School in Life, but it's like, it's upbeat. It's kind of like a dance song, but that would have been a good one too. But yeah, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't really a fan of the song. I've never even heard of the song before.
I think it's Pink from Pink Panther. Is that what Mary's saying? It's Pink Panther? Probably. Because I know she did, she was in that or sang in that. So, yeah. So, the lip sync was a good lip sync. Like I said earlier, you know, Chantel Sparkles, that was a Chantel Sparkle wig. Ariete tried, but I'm sorry. You know, if you have to start a lip sync off by taking off everything that you're wearing so you can do the song, then to me, it's starting to go downhill from there. Like,
yeah,
you gotta take off everything.
It's probably the least put together that I've ever seen Ariete this whole season. By her taking off all that, she was like, it's the least polished that I've seen her like all season. Granted, it's a performance, you want to perform, and she's a good performer, as well as a great designer and dressmaker, but she's been in the bottom already. Granted, the lever saved her, and she's been doing not good in all the challenges. The only challenges she's excelled at is the design challenges. The rest of them, she was either, you know, in the bottom or safe. So I feel like it was her time to go. It was Jules' first time in the bottom. Jules' been slaying this whole season. It was time for Ariete to go.
Yeah, and again, like, I hate nothing more than someone who just sits there and bitches and whines and moans and groans and like, you know, I cannot stand a powder. somebody that just fucking pout. And she has done nothing but pout because, you know, this isn't this, and, you know, or, well, I would do better if it wasn't an acting challenge. Well, I would do better if it wasn't a comedy challenge. No, how about you just do better?
Like, Bianca Del Rio said to, what's her name on their original season? She's like, what is it that, what is something that you do well? Tell me quickly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So Jewel Sparkles delivers just enough to justify her stay. And sadly, Ariadne will be sashaying away. And Jules is going to have to start pulling it together and pulling it together fast if she wants to stay and make it to the end, because, I mean, you know, trajectory. Mary said heart. Is there a TV playing in your house?
Is there a what?
I swear to God, I heard a man talking or a TV playing, and I was like, that's why I stopped. I was like, girl, there's something.
I literally do not have, no cars have went by. I don't have like any TVs or electronics.
Anyway,
it's probably your crazy ass neighbors downstairs.
Oh, it could be them. Then we have a shady ass message from Marietta. She's like, hi, bye. As one smelly bitch to another, Anya, please brush your teeth.
Shout out to Sophie Dopey, who says the same thing. She coming for Sophie Dopey's gig. Sophie Dopey likes to come in for 2.3 seconds and say hi, bye, and then leaves because she does not like her sorry.
To be fair, Sophie Duffy is watching WWE Running Like Wrestling during the time that we're live. So if we went on at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, Sophie Duffy would probably be around.
And sorry, Sophie Duffy, for calling you she. I don't know what your preferred pronouns are. I literally just by default call everybody she.
True. Then we've got here's what you packing. I'll be honest, this interview was so painful to watch that after a minute, I just fast forwarded it to the looks. Yeah, so this is going to be a good idea of what our next 3 runway challenges are going to be, I think, because there's, I think, really only 3 main stage challenges, maybe 4 left. But the one on the left is, I think, going to be like a conventional or unconventional or glue a bunch of shit to a dress challenge, because Corey Kings
I think it's going to be like an ugly. I think it's going to be like an ugly dress challenge, kind of like what they had on Violet Chachki's season, where they had you didn't have to make it, you just had to wear
like an ugly Christmas sweater, but an ugly
yeah. They had it was
Corey
John
Kings was like a blue one that she had done and had like rubber ducks all over it, kind of like
well,
the redheaded girl from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Harper.
Yes.
Harper. She had that dress that had the rubber duckies all over it. Yep. That was Corey King's inspiration for his dress.
Yep.
And Eddie said she made this one in 10 minutes and just glued a bunch of shit to it.
I'm thinking it's going to be because they haven't done one since then, and that was John Waters was a guest judge on that episode where they had to have an ugly dress, and it was like Pearl and Violet Chachki and Miss Fame, and I think Miss Fame ended up going home that episode because she wore like that ugly like Victorian doll style dress, and it was like a hoop skirt at the bottom, and it was just hideous. It had no shape. I think that's what this is going to be. Like, bring the ugliest dress. It's probably going to be an homage to Alyssa Edwards from when Santino said, "This is probably the ugliest dress that I've ever seen on RuPaul's Drag Race."
And who is Santino Rice anyway? And where's he at now? Exactly. And the middle one is
or as Tammy Brown says, Santinus, like the disease, Santinus.
The black and white dress is going to be for a black and white dress challenge. Because we've seen pretty much all of them have one, Hormona Lisa. And I'm thinking maybe the red one is going to be for like a streetwear challenge or something like that.
And she looked like she didn't really want to showcase that ugly dress, but I'm thinking like there must be like another design challenge or something coming up. Like this is the rest of her looks that she had to bring. So she had to showcase that because she didn't look like she was like a fan of that dress, even though that she made it.
Hold on. We are at, Sarah already went home here. So we've got 1, 2. So we've got 3 more challenges until we're to the final 4.
So this is all the looks that she had left. So this is probably
it's going to be 3 more challenges, and then we're going to have the final 4 that goes into the final 3.
And I do like on the ugly dress that she like literally took a bunch of different dresses and she said she made it in 10 minutes. Yeah. And then I like how the shoes are even mismatched. She's got 2 completely different shoes, which I thought was kind of cute. And then she said the dress in the middle, the black dress with the white feathers, she made that. And then she said a Chinese designer made the red look.
Yeah. Mary said they really make the fashion girls dress like that. And then Ben says bottom right is giving what Bronwyn Newport would wear. You so shady.
Bronwyn on Housewives of Salt Lake City.
I think so, yeah.
She's one of the only girls out of the cast of The Real Housewives that actually pays for all of her dresses.
Salt Lake City.
Yep.
Broadway producer, fashion influencer.
Christian Siriano said that. Christian Siriano said that Bronwyn is the only housewife. I don't know, out of all franchises, or at least that one said, out of all the housewives that have asked him for fashions and to make something in custom, that they just rent them or they like wear them and advertise them and give them back. She's the only one that actually pays him, and she keeps the looks.
No, Ben. I am a Bravo watcher. I just have not watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I've watched Atlanta. I've watched Potomac. I've watched New Jersey. I've watched OC, and I've watched Beverly Hills. I have not done SLC yet, but SLC is on my watch list to try to binge probably like May, June before Big Brother comes on. I'm going to try to get through 4 seasons because Dakota and I talked about we would actually like to maybe do some recap episodes of like Housewives in the future, like once there's not Drag Race or something going on and it's not like crazy busy. Yeah, Steven is actually the one that got me to want to watch it, especially after a lot of the drama and the ups and downs of this season. I know some of the basics of what happened just because he's told me, and I love spoilers, but I don't know. Like, so he's like, you really got to watch. And yeah, so I'm planning to watch it, Ben.
Yeah, I don't watch it either.
I'm an old girl Bravo. Like, I was like back in the day, Hair Genius, Tabitha Salon Takeover, Blowout with Jonathan. Oh God, I can't remember his last name, but the celebrity hairstylist from Beverly Hills heads on Jonathan. Anyway, you know, so like those were my OC original shows. And honestly, let's be honest, there's so many franchises of the Housewives. It just got to where it's really difficult to keep up with all of them. I
guess Salt Lake City is one of the newer ones because Steven asked me if I'd watched it. And I said that I'd only seen a few episodes, but I know all of the girls on there. Yeah. And I said that Bronwyn and Mary were my favorites.
Honestly, I'm more tempted to watch Salt Lake City now, though, after I saw the Real Housewives, or the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Because I fucking love that show. So I'm like, okay, if all of these Utah moms
they all look the same. I swear to God, all the girls, it is like the dictionary of what a Salt Lake City girl look like. All the girls on Mormon Wives either are long blonde highlighted hair or long dark hair.
And they all are wearing extensions.
Yes, extensions, like all like super fit. They've all had plastic surgery.
They're probably all getting their extensions from the girl that's on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because she has her own hair. Jen has her own hair place,
and it's scary. Every person that I've met that's from Utah, like Salt Lake City, Utah, carbon cutout of what, like the girl that runs the school that I went to a eyelash school in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and she runs that school. And she is from Salt Lake City, Utah. Literally looks like a long, like dark brown hair, super tan. She was wearing like high-waisted black jeans with a Gucci belt. Mm-hmm. And like she was wearing Christian Louboutin red bottoms. And she's beautiful. And I was like, of course she's from Salt Lake City, because look at everybody else from Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Yeah, and they talk about that in the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, about like the look, and it's like a very like the perfect wife type look thing. So yeah, it's very on brand. So yeah, and if you've not watched that show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, you need to watch it. Like, I know it took you. Well, you couldn't get into it at first, but you had a lot going on. So maybe
Yeah, I tried to watch I watched like 2 episodes and I just like I wasn't vibing.
you've got to get past the first episode with one of the girls' arrest, and then the second episode where it kind of picks up from that before it kind of starts. Yeah, because the drama really starts in like the third episode, and then it's just reality TV gold all the way until the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. So these were the looks. Let me click that off. Then we've got, this is what Hormona Lisa posted that she would have worn for the runway for this look. I'm loving the camel toe. And yeah, this is very similar to what Lexi and Anya had. Just, I mean, it was a little different. This is more like Dolly Parton and like,
it's not something that I would have expected her to wear.
No, not at all.
But it would have been like either like it probably would have been like a moppet. Like it probably wouldn't have been in my top, but it would have been like a moppet, I'm sure. I don't know. She probably would have been in the bottom because she didn't do good at her in her the variety show. She didn't do good in that. I don't know if she would have done well in this either. But I am glad that 3 out of the 6 eliminated girls are showing their looks of what they would have worn. And that's Hormona. Corey King is starting to do it now that she's not here. And Crystal Envy.
By the way, funny, just a little tidbit. Hormona Lisa, her dad's a minister. And so she posted on Twitter earlier today, not my dad telling his church congregation that I'm a traveling, quote, model is so funny to me.
A traveling model. Yeah. Not only is my child transgender, but she also is a traveling model. That's a woman.
That's a lady. My favorite was like Crystal, like, I just love this look. It's hard to tell, but it is stoned. The hat is stoned, like.
And the boots, she's wearing Timberline stilettos. Y'all. Timberline stilettos. Like the face card don't decline. Crystal Envy is going to give you face every single time you see her. But I just like this look. I would have mopped this one.
Yep. This, with it being a stone and everything, if she had worn it just like she's presenting it here, it probably would have been a slay of the day for me. Like, just because it was so fucking different from everybody else's. Then we have Corey King. Now, Corey King did not necessarily say this was his shorts look, but he posted this, so I'm going to assume it's his shorts look, and I'm just going to say it is. And posting, of course, with Miss Plain Jane, who is doing her residency in Las Vegas at the Flamingo.
This look is meh. Not Plain Jane's, but Corey's. It's just meh. It's just something that I would have expected to see from Corey.
Yeah, and I think Corey says "come slut," and Plain Jane says a little slut or something like that. So yeah. Yeah, that it's just yeah. Mm-hmm. It's it would if he had walked out wearing this on the main stage, it would have been a couch catastrophe as well. For me.
It's just meh.
Again, showing knees. We see Corey's knees.
But with a different shoe.
Yes, Jesse said this is the outfits they wore on Corey's channel, but made a post on something on X and somebody said, well, you're going to post. He's like, well, this is what I would have worn, or I would have worn something similar to this. So
yeah, so meh.
Yep. Anyway, next week we have the acting challenge. It's going to be a Ross Matthews and something about rubber ducks, I think. I did not pay much attention. And there's titties.
Sorry.
So who do you think is going to do well next week with it being an acting challenge? And who do you think is going to need CPR and life support?
We've seen that Lydia and Lana did not do well in the acting challenges, but they surprised us this week, so they may surprise us next week too. It might be. So I really am unsure. I would say out of everybody that Susie and Anya are probably going to do well. Sam is probably going to be in the top 3, but I would say maybe Lexi and Jules might be in the bottom if Lana and Lydia do well again next week, but I'm really not sure. Like at this point, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I think that the ones that are going to do the worst are probably going to be Lydia and Lana. Then outside of that, I'm going to say Anya is probably going to win. And I'm going to say probably Susie will be in. It'll be between Susie and Anya probably. Just because Anya's done good and all the other acting stuff, and it's going to be an acting with a script. So I feel like Susie does better when it's not her own material that she has to present into somebody else's.
Yeah.
Mary said, if it is Lydia and Lana, spare us and just send them both home, please.
But they might surprise Mary. They might surprise us again next week, like they did this week. They might actually pull something out of their metaphorical hats, and they might actually do well depending on what the acting challenge subject is. I think
if they surprise us, I'll say this. If they surprise us and those two do good on an acting challenge, I will come on here and I will write I was wrong on my face and lipstick. And I will wear it for the entire podcast.
Well, you're also our reigning peanut butter queen, so why not do it with peanut butter like you did on your...
No.
Because
peanut butter is wet and it's hot, it starts dripping and getting in the titties and getting
She has to stuff her face with like 10 PB&J Uncrustables.
No. I will write something on my face. I will not. No.
For y'all that don't know the joke about the peanut butter queen, she was on the reality spinoff show of Big Brother called
Audrey Middleton's Sequester.
Audrey Middleton's Sequester. And she was the reigning peanut butter queen on Sequester.
Yeah, hold on.
She's gonna pull up a picture. Yep.
I had to wear that on my face for 3 hours. And I had to keep, Mackenzie, please reapply peanut butter to your face. Thanks, Mary. Yeah, I was on the original OG season of Sequester with Kim Mattina, who was on Deal or No Deal Island season 1 last year. So, yep, was on that. Had a lot of fun. I loved it. And then we did a mini challenge of Sequester, and we had to do the peanut butter again, but this time put cotton balls all over her face. So there I am with peanut butter all over my face and cotton balls all over my face. So, yep. That's why they call me the peanut butter queen. So anything else you want to cover?
Nope. I didn't have anything to say at the beginning either, because I was very, 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 very shocked by how this played down. The drama that we kind of we didn't really get last episode. There really wasn't anything going on. So we definitely got some drama this episode, and we definitely got a shock to all of us that the
we didn't cover it, but shout out to Arietti. I've roasted her and gone on. At least they did work it out in the end. But I mean, come on, girl. Like, to me, that's what you're going to be remembered for. Do you think she's going to be remembered for her looks, or do you think she's going to be more remembered for the girl that stole jokes and went home?
Her looks.
Okay. Maybe so.
Sure,
Hopefully.
Jen. Sure, Jen.
Sure, Jen. Just as Tatiana said, choices. Really quickly, while we're talking about RuPaul's Drag Race, let's.
Sorry, I've been playing with my hair so much this episode, y'all. If y'all didn't see, I was running a little bit behind, and my hair was still damp from taking a shower earlier, and I did not have time to do my hair. So this is my hair, like all natural, flat, no hairspray, no styling product. I didn't have time to blow dry it, so I've been playing.
Let's talk about the rumored cast list really quickly of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 10. It will be confirmed here soon, but let's talk about the rumored cast list. Rumored to be on this next season is Acid Betty, Aja, which if she's on, I will be shocked, but we'll see. Alyssa Hunter, Bosco, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, Diabetti, Deja Sky. I'm excited to see Deja. I'm not gonna lie. Denali,
The ice skating queen,
Ginger Minge. Again, I would be shocked, but stranger things have happened. And Ginger Minge has been doing a lot with RuPaul's Drag Race Live, so
and she's been on her season. She was on All Stars. And this will be her second run
on season 7. She was on All Stars 2 and All Stars 6.
So this will be her third stint on All Stars and her fourth on
runner-up on season 7, 8th place All Stars 2, and runner-up on All Stars season 6. Next we have Irene Dubois, who I think I'm probably the most excited to see.
Yes. I feel like we did not get to see her drag in all of its glory on her season. So I will be super, super happy to see if she is on All Stars this season, what she brings.
The other queen, which again, she was on last season. So if they do, I would be shocked, but it's on 4 different sources that she's on. And that's Georges. And Georges was just on. But again, I mean, when RuPaul likes somebody, RuPaul will bring them back time and time again.
And RuPaul loves Georges.
The other queen is Carrie Colby, which I would love to see Carrie Colby compete again. Then we have Mistress Isabelle Brooks, which, the funny thing is if Mistress is on it, they would have filmed this during her fat era. So she would still be on for All Stars as fat and not on as skinny. Next is Nicole Paige Brooks from season 2. I mean, that is pulling a queen out of the closet.
Yeah, like I haven't really seen anything from her. Like I think she was interviewed on the Very Delta podcast like a couple of months, maybe like end of last year. But that's the first time I've seen her in like years. And I liked her on her season. Like I know a lot of the other girls said, "Oh, another queen from Georgia." Like, "Oh, she has French tip."
My name is Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
And Raven read her for having white French tip toenails.
Next we have Olivia Lux. Then we have Phoenix.
And her and Utica were dating after their original season.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Phoenix from season 3. That will be an interesting one to see back. And then Tina Burner from season 13. And last but not least, a queen from this season. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know somebody from this season, because that means they did not win this season. Lydia Butthole Collins is rumored to be on this next season of All Stars. So, who will be on, who won't, we don't really know. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks, probably about the next month. But I just thought it was interesting because I've seen probably 15 articles pop up in the last week about all these names. So I'm like, why not talk about it? Who out of all those are you the most excited to see?
Irene Dubois for sure, because we really didn't get to see her, and I feel like I would really like her drag, especially with her being a Seattle queen.
And she's the one that really started that posting what they would wear every single week. Like, and like she had one and her looks were phenomenal. Like, so good. Yeah.
Nicole Page Brooks, just because she's a Southern queen and she was super sweet and everybody loves her. We just don't really get to see anything or hear anything about her that much. Her son is probably already like about to graduate high school by now, because I think he was like 5 or 6 on her original season.
Probably, yeah. Or probably in college by now.
Oh, it could be.
Carrie Colby.
Oh, yes, Carrie Colby. She did really good on her season. Like, she had really good drag. She just didn't do amazingly in some of the, I think, like the acting challenges and stuff. But she is Carrie Colby's drag daughter, so she has a legacy.
I will say, if they do have like Aja, both Aja, Carrie Colby, and
Aja is one to look out for, although that she said she wasn't really doing drag because she got into ballroom after Drag Race, and she doesn't really do like she doesn't really tour for drag anymore. So, and of course, Aja is transitioning, and she said that she doesn't really think that she would ever go back to Drag Race, but she wasn't like against it.
But that's my thing with her, with Aja, Bosco, and with Carrie Colby. That would be 3 trans contestants on one season. So that would be
very strong performers. Like, you remember Aja in the talent show on All Stars? Like, she did so good. Like, she did like the walk the duck, and then like the robot, and then she was doing Vogue, and then she like did a flip and split off of a stage block.
Okay. Yep. But yeah, those should be very interesting. I'm hoping that some of these names that have been on 2 or 3 seasons are just, production plants to get people excited. And I'm hoping they won't be on, because honestly, I want to see some new people have a chance that's not been on before, Yeah. Cynthia Lee Fontaine, I wouldn't mind, because she was on season 8 and 9, and she did go early in both of her seasons. So she's not been on an all-star season. But Aja has, Ginger Minj has, Georges has. So I feel like those 3 have had their time. And I feel like, yeah.
Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Would you like to see my cuckoo? She didn't go on All Stars. She was on her original season, and then it was like an episode or a season or 2 later, they brought her.
She was on 8 and then 9.
Okay.
Because remember, she got injured or hurt, didn't she? And she had to have surgery or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she's also like in the last couple of years had some health issues. Like, she was hospitalized.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was from like the black market silicone that's in her cuckoo or what, but.
Oh, and while speaking to people, then we're gonna let go. If anyone has $1 or 2 to spare, please do me a favor and go and send a little $1 to my good sister, my good Judy, Miss Stacey Lane Matthews. She is trying to get her disability stuff going, so she's not working and able to work as much right now. And she's having some health issues. So if you can spare $1 or 2, she's a really sweet queen, and try to support her if you can. If you can't, understand, but I know she's going through a lot right now, and I love her to death. So anyway, Dakota Rain, where can the ladies and gentlemen and thems and thams find you and follow you on social media?
As always, you can follow me on my YouTube channel at Dakota Rain Wages. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Dakota Rain XOXO. You can see that on the handle at the bottom of the screen. And that's pretty much it for now.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Tiki Taki Blue Sky at KenzieJo205, or on Twitter at Kenzie_reality. Good luck finding me on Facebook, and good luck getting me to accept your friend request, because that's pretty much locked down kind of tight.
Yeah.
Please also follow the Couch Potato Queens. You can like us on Facebook. And if you want to get in touch with me on Facebook, that's the best place to do it. You can also follow the Couch Potato Queens on Twitter or Instagram. And while you're here and you watch this on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe and click that little bell notification so that you get notified every time that we go live. And if you really love us, as soon as this ends, you can refresh the page and go down to the bottom and comment under the video, not comment in the live, because that doesn't really count. But that helps us out so much. We appreciate everyone for watching and sticking with us through RuPaul's Drag Race. We will be back next week, Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 11. And stay tuned, because you might see some new things coming from the Couch Potato Queens in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for watching. We love you all so much. And stay shady, ladies. Bye.